John with National Sports Entertainment. And as you could probably imagine, today specifically was a busier day, so about the same time I typically upload, but it just feels later. Hopefully, everybody that's fortunate enough had a good day with their mothers, and we had a good day today, which is nice too. So a little extra, I guess, cherry on top. I wanted to go into how we did. I've been basically just because I've had class, second job, trying to figure out. I had a car I had to replace, so a lot of things going on. So a lot of nights, instead of going really in depth with the NBA, I just throw all my picks out there, which I do every night on my Patreon, and then I'll upload it on here. Going forward, I do want to cover obviously each team more in depth. I know I used to do more of that, and a lot of people enjoy it. But again, I always try. I have to prioritize the people that are kind enough to tail every single night. Again, I try and post my picks as much as I can on here, but again, it takes forever to upload. So a lot of times I'll just make sure I get my picks on there, over on the Patreon, and then on here I'll throw it on there as well. So anyway, I wanted to go into how we did it. I put out my last video on here last night where I was able to cover, again, all of our picks for today. So I always like to do a quick recap first. I also wanted to go into the spreads. I think it's very important, just because it's how I do my system. So this was officially our best week ever now since starting the Patreon. We came into the week up 34.3, which was already a best ever. Last night we were at 33.3 before the finish of the Celtics game, and we got that one. Actually, we haven't got a Celtics cover wrong yet in this series. First game we had the Celtics pounding them. Second game we went with the Cavs, and this last game we had the Celtics covering again. So we came in today 34.3, and this is how we did today. Up a unit, Pacers covered. I thought everybody would be on the Knicks, so we got that one. Up 2.25 because we got the Nuggets. We got the straight up win. We've been doing well in that series as well. We go up to 4.05 because 1.8 plus the 2.25. So that puts us at 4.05. We got the Mariners, so 5.05. Mets, we got that 6.05. We only have one loss today, knocking us back to 5.05. And again, this is actually the second day in a row we ran the table in basketball and baseball. Yesterday, we got Astros, Red Sox, Rays, Mavs. We missed a prop, that was it, and we got the Celtics. And then today we got Pacers, Nuggets, Marlins, Mariners, Mets, and only missed a tennis play. So a really good day, almost 40, really close to 40. Not quite, but 39.35 if I'm doing the math right, and 157.15. Again, I might be off by a few decimals, but I'm pretty sure this is exact. So that's where we stand on the week. We finished at 30.33. Would have loved to done a 40. That's not easy. But either way, I'm not going to get greedy. And we're at over 150 units since inception. So we've been doing really good over on this end. I'm going to start again. I opened the Patreon December 4th. Every single day, not to sound like FedEx, but including holidays, all that, we've made a pick. We haven't had a day where we haven't had picks on here. So I've always strived to at least search for the best games I can find and make sure we always have picks on here. So again, a best week ever for us. That's always nice. Now I wanted to go into this. Pacers, they went down what was it, 0-2, or I think they were 0-2. And again, I just think they're going to win the series. I'm not going to. If a team goes down 0-3, sometimes I'll be more realistic. But if I like a team, I like them. We didn't do as good in the first round, but again, a lot of those teams were disposable, in my opinion. Teams like the Bucks, teams like the Suns, teams like we knew they weren't going to do much anyway. I just thought a few of them would have got out of the first round. But anyway, here, I like the battle for Larry Bird's heart, which would be Pacers Celtics. I think it makes sense. Knicks also played the Celtics 5 times already. I think they might want to avoid division matchups in the conference finals just because people have seen it a lot. And Knicks Celtics could be an exception because the Knicks are like the Lions, and Celtics won the first 4 games this year against them. Then the Knicks got the last one. We actually cashed on that. But I just don't think they're going to run, probably 6 more games with these two teams. I could be wrong, but the Pacers lost the in-season tournament. I went into that. So it'd be interesting. I thought they'd go pretty far after losing that just because, again, they kind of put LeBron over. I thought they'd get something good in return. So I think of these two teams. Again, Knicks do give me Lions vibes, but I'm sticking with the Pacers. Now, I'm not sure what the odds are. It's probably close to even, but the Knicks were favorites coming in, so they might be slight favorites with the home court advantage. Nuggets, Wolves, again, this was not going to be easy. You can't just... A lot of people were telling me when I said the Nuggets were going to tie it up when they were down 0-2. They were like, oh, well, you have the Wolves winning the series, and, other people were saying, oh, no, the Nuggets are toast. And, yeah, I still do have the Wolves winning the series. And that's why we do really good with this system, because despite who I like on a series, I'm not going to pick them every game. I don't think teams that I have winning are going to sweep series. They're just, not going to happen. So we are doing a good job with the games, especially in this round. We did this in the NFL playoffs. We ran up our bankroll big time, and I think we'll do the same here. Now for tomorrow, and I have all the official picks listed, like I said, because I do them for the membership site every night. I always just put the exact unit amount, so I'll go into that in a second, but just to get a visual, I actually like the Cavs to cover here. Again, the Celtics are a very inconsistent team, so I just try and look at, again, where the public's at. And I think the Celtics pounded them twice out of 3 games. And I think a lot of people just don't have a lot of faith in the Cavs. If it was like 11.5, it could be a little different. Then you might have more money. Well, a lot more on the Celtics. So I think the money is going to be pretty even. Maybe more on the Celtics still. But, well, I'm sorry. I meant the reverse in the beginning. If it was 11.5, we'd have more on the Cavs. But I think with the 8.5, that's what they just got, and they won by a ton. And sure, they could win, another big game, then maybe in Boston drop one. And that's why I like my system, because we don't have to hit every day, but we've been doing pretty good. But anyway, I like the Cavs to cover the 8.5. Last time I took the cover, I should have taken the money line, because I would have paid better. But I just think that, again, this is probably going to go 6 games. Thunder Mavs, I got the Thunder. Again, here's another one. Mavs have been looking good. 2 impressive wins. Now they're back at home. I feel like people were thinking it's a lock. Okay, they're going to take this one. But I don't think the Thunder are going to go easy. I think it's going to go, again, this one's probably, of all the matchups, most likely to go to 7. And I think there's a good chance it does. Knicks Pacers, obviously, is probably the second most likely. You could say it about all of them, really. Nuggets looking good. But I could see the Wolves taking the next 2, to be quite honest. Winning and then going back home and winning, would have to see. But, yeah, I think the Thunder are going to tie it up. And we're going to have, again, in the first round, we did not have a lot of 6-7 game series. I think we only had a couple. We had the Magic go to 7. I think we had a couple teams go to 6. And a lot of them were, 5 games, and then we had the sweep. So, with the Suns getting swept. So, yeah, I think we're going to have more 6-7 game series. So, those are the 2 plays I really like in the NBA. I'll go into them. I wanted to go into this. This is the only tool I use to pick baseball. I don't watch it. And we started off rough in baseball, but I'm pretty sure we're in the positive, well in the positive now. Because, again, it fluctuates. But this is the case for every sport. So, if you look at the cover rates, 28% being the bottom, 64% being the top. You can go back any year you want. Not since. That's not going to be accurate. Last year. Okay, so it adds it up. I'm trying to get individual years here. It should let me, right? Yeah, there we go. 20. Let's look at last year. You see the highest is at 59% and the lowest is at 42%. Go back as long as you want. I defy you to tell me that you'll find a team that finished at like 20% or finished in the high 40s. It just doesn't happen. Even the COVID year, I think, was cut short. Oops, not since. Even the COVID year, I think this one was cut short, right? Yeah, we had half a season, which means the numbers are probably going to vary. And even there, the lowest is 37%. The same applies to the over/under. 61% is kind of in the norm for the best team. 35 is just a little low. If you go back, again, you're going to see the same deal. I'm shocked I don't see more handicappers talk about this. It's really, I call it a holy grail almost, because it's almost, again, it's like a scientific theory has to be proven once you run X amount of variables, you know, over X amount of time, and you get the same exact result. And it's basically like a theory at this point, like, or a law, whatever you want to call it, where you just don't see teams finishing. You got 38 kind of low here, but again, all the teams really within that margin, that 40 to 60 margin. No team like that. I've gone back decades. I just don't see teams finishing 18% against the spread. In college, you'll see it sometimes, but NBA, NFL, and baseball, somehow, don't ask me how, all between 40 and 60, despite having much different amounts of games played. The best way I can equate it is when you flip a coin X amount of times, right? And it usually winds up balancing out. That's what happens with these spreads. A team can start off like 0 and 10 against the spread. They always wind up finishing 40. And the Pacers are a great example, because the Pacers, they started the season off at like just an unbelievable 89% rate on the over, something like that. Their over-unders were being set at 250. And we just started pounding the under, and they dropped so far down. I don't even think they finished in the top 10 on the over, when they were 20% ahead of any other team at one point. So it's very important to go into that, in my opinion. I wanted to cover that because I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't watch these sports. We just look at the metrics. And again, baseball hasn't been the best to us. We did better in football and basketball, but they're all profiting for us, and I think that's a big part of the reason. So, and it's funny, our tennis, we lost a unit today from there, but tennis has by far been our as far as return rate. We have played way less tennis than these other sports, but it's got the highest return rate from what I can understand. Last I checked, I try and cross-reference them as often as possible so I can know exactly which sports are doing the best. And I believe the order would go, right, I think it goes either tennis, football, or football, tennis, then basketball, baseball. And we did terrible with hockey, so I retired it a long time ago. But yeah, really good week. And like I said, I wanted to show you guys that because that's who I have. If you look at our picks, you know, Nationals are at like 65% against the spread. Mariners and Royals both at like the mid 30% on the over. Marlins at 28%. Now, yes, they can cover and not win. I understand that. But I always just go for the win like today we did. We actually took the Marlins today and got them. So I'm going for 2 games in a row. Mets are another one. Just looked like a trap, actually. That one wasn't even a metric play. It was just a trap. So anyway, here's tomorrow. I thought Osaka played today. She plays tomorrow at 5 a.m. You see I have in italics for the, or asterisks, whatever they are, for these guys, Kopfer and Napolitano playing Jari and Paul. They actually play later. So I posted these yesterday when I did my video. But then I found out they play like at 10 o'clock. But either way, anyone that watched yesterday hopefully has them locked in. We've been doing good with tennis. At the least, we should split these, which would obviously be a profit. And I think there's a good chance we get both. And then you can see for 4 units, leg 3, I got Osaka with the cover. She's basically a pick'em, but to avoid the minus 115, 120, I went with minus 1.5 games. And it's minus 105, so a tiny bit of juice. Most of my plays, if you notice, I do my best to avoid juice by picking it up with plus odds and stuff like that. Another reason I love this system, this White Sox cover, we're playing it for a unit, say we lose, and then we play it for 2 units and win, and just say it's plus 200 again, right? It's the same line, it should be pretty close. That means we picked up 4 units and only lost 1. We picked up 3 units instead of just doing even odds where we'd only profit 1 unit. So it's a pretty complex martingale. I wanted to go into it because some new people on the channel have been bringing up different things. People in the Discord, just things they've noticed. A lot of people are happily surprised with how effective they've been doing since tailing. And I kind of wanted to explain it's not an accident. It's heavily backdated. I've for years now. I mean, gosh, my channel's almost 3 years old. The first one obviously got Thanos snapped, but I've been around for about 3 years, and before that, I was testing it, and it's yet to show me that it doesn't work. Doing the leg 1 for a unit, leg 2 for 2, and leg 3 for 4 units, it just profits way better. We don't have to hit a 70% clip. Obviously, today and yesterday we're at like 90 something percent. Well, maybe not 90. Yesterday we were a little lower. Today we hit everyone but one. So went to 86%, 5 out of 6. So I mean, we're doing good. Not to be cocky, but it's also not unexpected. So you see, I got Osaka with the cover. I already posted these three, but just in case you didn't see the video, and they're not 5. She's technically 5. The others play later. I got Cope for being Tommy Paul. We just cashed on him beating TFO. Looked like a trap. I think it's another trap, so that's going to be for 2 units at 120. And then a guy I've never heard of, and I went into why in the video, my last video, I think he beats Jari. I just don't understand. I think Jari should be a much heavier favorite. Again, I got the Cavs, and I got the Thunder. Like I went into it when I was on the ESPN page. I just think they make sense. I got the Cavs covering, not winning. Thunder's a pick'em. Kind of suspicious after they just got blown out. I got the White Sox covering the Nats, like I said. Nationals great on the spread. Now, again, it's an alt line, so the White Sox could technically win or lose by 1, and it would reflect that on the spreads. But I'm just going to get a little greedy and go for the 1.5, minus 1.5 on this one, which is plus 200. Just 1 unit. We're going to chase them 3 games. Or really, we're going to fade the Nationals 3 games. So whoever the Nationals, if they play another team and move on to another series, we'll just fade them into the next series. Mariners, Royals, we just got the Mariners over today and a couple days ago. So we've been cashing in on that as of late. They were even lower before, but still low on the over. And the Royals, again, both these teams are in the mid-30s. So I like the over 7.5 for 1 unit. Got the Marlins again. They've been helping us lately. Plus 140. And I got a prop. I got Luka getting 10 assists, 10, basically getting a triple-double. I didn't see for some reason on my book, I didn't see Luka to get a triple-double. But you can just make it yourself if you don't see it. I just did my player prop parlay. I almost added in SGA to get 30. But he just got 30-something, so I wonder if maybe he has an off game. So only 240, so that's going to be for 2 units, a leg 2. So yeah, there's our plays tomorrow. Nothing too crazy. Typically, when we can get more than 1 sport in, we always usually get at least 2 in there. But sometimes, there's not a lot going on. Like when we waited for baseball to start, there wasn't a ton going on. But when we get tennis, baseball, basketball, I get to pick my spots. We're doing both basketball plays because I like them. But you can see we only got 3 baseball plays, we got 3 tennis plays, and then we got a prop. So it's diversified, I guess, the best way to put it. And we can I just pick out the traps that look the most obvious to me. That's really all I do. And again, teams that are really good against the spread, really good on the over, I fade it. Teams that are really bad on the over, really bad against the spread, I take it. That's basically the gist of the system mixed with a martingale aspect. So we get the plus odds. You see it's historically back these spreads. You can go back as far as you want. I didn't want to be redundant, but go back to 1990, however far that you go back. These teams always finish between like very high 30s and very low 60s on not only the spread but the over-under. The over-under seems to be more not balanced. It seems to be more routine. The over-under, they vary even less. So while you'll see a team against the spread sometimes, I guess like at like 36%, something like that. But on the over-under, they're always like it seems like 40 to 60. It's really interesting. So just something I noticed. I've gone into it before, but I know some people have a couple questions. So again, I want to thank everybody that is showing love. Obviously, from the beginning, it's been showing love. It's been busier with some tasks I've picked up, but at the same time, I always will make sure to get these videos out. And for everyone that's been signing up over at Patreon, over at the Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee, I started in the beginning. And anyone that's on there, I explained, I thought you could do videos on there. So I just post my picks on there. Some people prefer that. That way they can just see all the picks. That's fine. I always try and cover them early though, that way if I have a longer video and I kind of go into other things, you can still get your picks in. But the Patreon, I get to do videos, kind of go into why I like the picks, the spreads like I just went into. So a lot of people have been signing up on there, and I appreciate anyone that does that. Again, from the beginning, I said if people can just make a dollar from the system, I'd be happy. And now we got a ton of people that anyone that's been following, from the beginning is doing exceptionally well. Again, we're at about 157.15 should be exactly where we're at. But even month to month, we've been doing really, really well. So, yeah, the system's coming through, which not much of a shocker. We're thousands and thousands of plays in now, and I'm not exaggerating. We have thousands and thousands of plays just since I launched the Patreon, and we got tens of thousands of plays in since I started the channel. Probably just this one, not even including the one that got, again, just obliterated by YouTube, the YouTube machine. But yeah, I wanted to thank everyone that just shows love on all the platforms and just kind of go more in depth while I had a few minutes into this system, because I say always, outside of just being positive, my number one goal is for people to beat Vegas. I could do videos where I show how they're selling games and how Edwards looks great one game and now he's looking bad, and I still do them sometimes, but for the most part, people know that these guys, if you're watching, there's a good chance. And even if you think it's real, you can still make money taking my picks. A lot of them I use logic, whether it's real or fake, this team should win. But my point is, me just saying, oh, it's scripted, look at this, we knew this team was going to win. It's redundant, it doesn't help. But when I actually put out the exact unit amounts, why I like the games, and a system, how we can profit from a scripted league, now I'm actually doing something where people don't just watch it and it's like, yeah, I already knew that, but that was nice. Now people can actually profit and gain from the information that we know, these traps, these metrics, just the storylines that they force down our throats, like Anthony Edwards. The reason I still completely believe he is going to beat the Nuggets, stuff like that. So it really helps in my opinion, and I think we'll continue to do well. So again, to everybody out there, hopefully you had a good day. That's fortunate enough. I always say that. Hopefully you had a good day with your mom, and we have a good bit of plays tomorrow, so hopefully they come through. I think they will. I'm pretty optimistic, but I think I have a reason to be. Again, there's just no other channel out there. I'm not trying to be cocky, but there's no other channel out there and that's why I get these burner account guys who come over and, oh, you got this one pick wrong, what happened? And they ignore the fact that I'm showing receipts of how great we've done. There's just no other channel that can say, I guarantee if you followed this system verbatim, no tricks, no shenanigans, all receipts, I think it would be, nobody would want to watch the video, but I can do a recap video where I go through every one of the picks we've ever done and add it up if you guys would like, but I can't imagine. That's something, again, it's more for the people tailing every pick. But yeah, every pick since December 4th, our first ever pick on this Patreon, is still on here. That's why we have, again, 215 pages, because I keep receipts. There's no reason not to when the system's working. So yeah, again, it might sound braggadocious, but I think that's the reason a lot of the other channels, I get these burners that come over here and just want to start nonsense. People raiding our Discord, which hasn't happened really much anymore, but people still sneaking in, and all that stuff, because there's nobody out there. They might say it's scripted, it's rigged, it's this, it's that. They could give you a million examples, but they can't help you make money, or they can't say, hey, go back and watch these videos just to cross-reference what I'm saying, and you'll see we're up exactly this much. So it's one thing that we offer that I think a lot of other channels might be a little envious of. I've dealt with it all. So, not to ramble about that, but if you're seeing people that are just saying like, oh, you've never seen them before and they're just showing up trying to bash us, bash the channel, that's why. It's been happening since the beginning. And we don't get a lot of them. We get like 2 or 3 obvious people that'll just comment on every video, and I respond to them because I'm against ignoring people just because they're annoying. I just, if there's no reason to it, or you can just tell that they're almost like a bot, which I do believe we get bots too. I didn't when I started my channel, but you'd be surprised. Then I just stop responding. But even the people that come over and say, "Oh, you suck. You said this team was going to go further and they didn't." I just always redirect them to the fact that, yeah, I'm not perfect. I reassess, but we've been doing really well as of late. Again, our major picks for the playoffs are still looking good. If you don't know, Israel Hamas would be Mavericks Celtics if you line up the colors, and I just think it makes a lot of sense to give us that. I think it's definitely going to be the Celtics. I went into this since the beginning of the year. They've been my favorite pick. Though the odds are so ugly for the Celtics, nobody's going to take them. So it's like, who comes out of the West? Yeah, you could have the Nuggets, but I think you've given them enough. I think you beat the Nuggets with a guy like Ant, and then we get Luka versus Ant, and I could see either of them. Like, and I'm not trying to play both sides. I just genuinely could. If it was Ant, I would not be shocked. But I think they're going to reserve it for Dallas. They're a little closer to the Israel colors, and Luka didn't get any MVP honors, so I could see them putting him in the finals, getting him further than when he went up against the Clippers and almost got there, or 2 years ago where he almost got there, but the Warriors beat him. Which, again, pretty interesting. Warriors played the Celtics. So there's always that little circle I notice in the NBA. And I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but it's pretty interesting. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that's always, showing support anyway. Whether it's comments, letting me know stuff on the channel. I always try and get back. The people that have made the Discord great. Everybody on the membership site over here. I'm going to post, obviously, this video on both YouTube and the membership sites. But everyone that's been tailing, obviously, to trust the system, I appreciate, because I feel like I tell people, oh yeah, we're up over 100 units, and they just think, yeah, right, that's a lie, or that can't be true, too good to be true. And really, it's just being disciplined. I bring this up so many times. Being disciplined and having good money management is more important than these picks themselves. For example, if we played a regular system, just played every game and didn't do leg twos, leg threes, and we just played them all for one unit, if we lost every game tomorrow, we'd be in some serious trouble. We'd have to have a ridiculous rest of the week. But the way the system works, we can lose every game tomorrow. Then we go leg two on the next Celtics game. We go leg two on the next Thunder game. We go leg two. And we're most likely going to, in 3-4 attempts, close all of them. And that's what we've been doing. So even the ones that we take an over, they miss. We take it again, they miss. Usually by the third crack, we get it. And we can have a 33% hit rate, because I usually don't chase past 4 units, and profit. It's just simple math. I've done a lot of different, experiments is what you'd call them, just looking at the numbers. And this martingale, with the getting plus odds on top of it, in my opinion, is the best approach. So a little longer video, but I wanted to go specifically into the system. For anyone that's new, you might have just signed up over here for the Patreon 4 days ago, and you're kind of like, okay, why is he picking these random teams? They're not random. It's almost all spreads and metric plays, and again, some traps. So yeah, I'll be trying to get more assessment videos out. I'll be going deeply more into the NBA. I'll probably just do a video, because on top of my picks, I like to get other videos out. Sometimes I'll combine them, kind of like this one. But I'll be doing a good video on just the teams remaining. I think they're all these series are going to be pretty much even anyway. Still tomorrow or the next day. Pretty close, like a lot of 2-2s, maybe a couple, maybe 1-3-1 with the Celtics. So I'll be going into each team and just why I like them, why I don't. Again, not much has changed. If you watch my videos of the past, anyone I've put out since the beginning of the year, Celtics hasn't changed at all. That's like the 49ers pick from last year. Now, the 49ers didn't win it, but that was my early, before the preseason started, my favorite to go to the Super Bowl. I thought they'd win it. And the Celtics are the same. So really not much is going to budge me off the Celtics. But the West, again, I like the Mavs, but I could see storylines for the Wolves. So that's why I'll go into the Mavs and Wolves. I'll go into the Nuggets. I know a lot of people love them to go back because of the other sports repeating. I just don't think we're going to get it there. So yeah, that's it. I wanted to go into our picks, how we did on the week for everyone that, if you signed up a week ago, you're doing amazing because it's the best week we've had. But even if you signed up before then, obviously overall you're doing better because we're really climbing. It'd be nice to get the 200 units by the end of the finals, which is definitely attainable. I mean, one more week like this and we're basically there. Of course, it's not easy to do a 40 unit week, but we've done a lot of 20s, and the playoffs typically treat us better, so I have high aspirations. So take care and happy earnings.